Alright, so this is the video I wanted to check out. Before we start this, I want to preface my experience with Dark Souls games, right? I have played one type of Dark Souls game, and it was Bloodborne, back when that came out on the PlayStation 4. And I fucking hated it. My patience is awful with games like that. I couldn't get past the first boss. So I kind of like raged a lot, and and then I had to get carried by this guy in multiplayer to kill the boss for me. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be playing this game, to be honest, but I do want to check it out. And this is some classes. This video is going to be going over the classes you can choose. Maybe I can find something I might like and see that looks fun, and maybe I'll check the game out. I'm not too sure that we'll be playing Elden Ring.
At the time of recording this video,
but we'll see.
Ring is about 5 days away from
2 days. 2 days it comes out, so I really got to make a decision soon.
Release. It's actually so surreal. Like, I honestly cannot believe that it is 5 days away.
When was this announced? I think I heard about this game like a year and a half ago.
Elden Ring is definitely one of the biggest releases happening this year.
Yeah.
And with that comes a lot of new players who have never played any Souls-like game before. I'm sure a lot of the new players and old players will have trouble deciding what starting class to pick, which is the exact reason why I'm making this video to begin with. If you didn't know, a lot of the classes in the network test actually did not make it in the final game. You can still get the items that were in those classes, but you can't spawn in with them. The only classes in the network test that made it to the final game are Prophet, Warrior, and Hero, which used to be called Champion. However, even though they made it into the final game, it doesn't mean that they are entirely the same. In this video, I'll be talking about those changes as well as all the other new classes. I'll be going over each class's stats, you know, weapons, everything. I'll also be talking about different playstyles as well as which class you should choose for your playstyle.
That's the thing, I might actually enjoy these kinds of games if I get the right playstyle, right? Maybe I just didn't like Bloodborne because I don't think there was classes in Bloodborne. I'm pretty sure there weren't. But then again, I haven't played any other Dark Souls types of games either, like Sekiro, Dark Souls themselves, like 1, 2, 3. Maybe I just didn't like Bloodborne, but I know they're all hard, and I think the problem with me with Bloodborne is my patience.
Before I get into it, as always, if you do enjoy this video at any time, please do consider subscribing, because about 80% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed, and you know, if you enjoy my content, why not sub? It helps out the channel, and I got lots of Elden Ring content coming. Don't miss out. And for those who are already subbed, I don't know if you heard, but I am going to be live streaming my first Elden Ring playthrough on Twitch. Link in the description if you want to go ahead and join in. I'm going to be summoning viewers. It's going to be lots of fun. Anyways, now that that is all out of the way, let's go see which class is for you. Oh yeah, by the way, little side note, the gameplay you see is from the Elden Ring network test. It's supposed to show you an example of what these classes would be like. Obviously, Is
there transmog in this game? I really hope there's transmog in this game. I want to look like a god.
Not 100% accurate. I mean, the armor's different, the weapon might be different. So keep in mind, this is just supposed to be an example of what their playstyle would be like. So first up on the list is Vagabond. Vagabond is well suited for any melee oriented setup. If you choose Vagabond, you will start at level 9 with 15 vigor, 10 mind, 11 endurance, 14 strength, 13 dex, 9 intelligence, 9 faith, and 7 arcane.
Look, I don't even know what any of these stats do, you know? And why do you start level 9? That's interesting. Vagabond also seems like a weird name. It's like an insult, I feel like.
Choose Vagabond.
You're a vagabond.
You will spawn in with what looks like a longsword and a halberd, as well as a shield. If you really only care about melee type weapons, you know, whether it be dex based or strength based, you're going to want to choose Vagabond. This class is known to Dark Souls players as a quality build. A quality build is essentially just a build that has an even amount of dex and strength, which allows you to pretty much use any melee type weapon you want. This is a great class to start with if you don't really know what you want to do. Starting off your first playthrough with a quality build is a good idea because you can just play through the game. If there's a melee weapon you like, well, go ahead and use it. You
this might be a good option then, because as a beginner too, I think it's probably going to be beginner friendly.
Should be able to, and you'll get a good amount of damage in. Vagabond is the class to choose if you don't want to do anything too complicated, you know, you just want something very simple. If you want to be able to try out any melee weapon throughout the game, choose Vagabond and do a quality build. Next up is Warrior. The Warrior class is a dex-based class. This class starts at level 8 with 11 Vigor, 12 Mind, 11 Endurance, 10 Strength,
dual wielding,
16 Dex, 10 Intelligence, 8 Faith, and 9 Arcane. The Warrior also starts out with 2 Scimitars, allowing you to dual wield right at the start. If you know that you want to run dex weapons throughout the entire game, choose Warrior. The Warrior class is the best class to start out with if you're going for a pure dex build.
Well, dex probably gives you speed, right? And dual wielding also probably gives you attack speed, so that sounds like a lot of fun too. It's probably really good later on as well, because you can just get all your attacks in before they can even react.
If you don't know what dex weapons are, they tend to be weapons like curved swords, katanas, or daggers. Dex weapons are essentially the exact opposite of strength weapons. They are usually extremely fast and allow you to hit enemies multiple times in a short amount of time. So
I'm guessing the strength weapons, they do more damage, but they also take a lot longer to like hit the enemies with. Whereas these are a lot faster, but don't do as much damage. But then again, they might like stagger the enemies each time you hit.
Those are the types of weapons you like to use. Go ahead and choose Warrior and make a dex focused build. Next, we have the Hero class, previously known as Champion. I think Champion was a better name, to be honest. Anyways, the Hero class is the best class for a strength-based build. Hero starts out at level 7 with 14 Vigor, 9 Mind, 12 Endurance, 16 Strength, 9 Dex, 7 Intelligence, 8 Faith, and 11 Arcane. This class also starts out with a big-ass axe. If you love big-ass
that's pretty sweet.
Big-ass damage, this is the class to choose.
The problem with these classes is it's so punishing if you miss, right? If you like charge your attack up for like a second or two and then you just whiff it, you get punished so hard.
Starting out at 16 strength will set you up for a pure strength build
and the animation lock is pretty intense on some of these moves, it looks like.
Better than any class here. In the network test, this class started out with a finger seal and was able to cast faith spells. Unfortunately, you cannot do that anymore. They pretty much removed all magic aspects away from this class and just made it pure strength.
Dang,
so
one-shot that dude.
If you want your character to be an ultra giga chad barbarian, an absolute unit filled with testosterone and just made up of 100% pure muscle, this is the class for you. Next up is Bandit. Bandit starts off at level 5 with 10 Vigor, 11
Why is he got no close on?
Mind, 10 Endurance, 9 Strength, 13 Dex, 9 Intelligence,
what's that?
8 Faith, and 14 Arcane. This class starts off with a bow and dagger as well as a parry shield. Now personally,
I do like bows.
in my opinion, I would not recommend any new player start off their first playthrough with Bandit.
Never
Bandit's
mind.
playstyle is really specific. This class is supposed to be the stealthy bow class.
Stealth Archer from Skyrim. I played that like twice.
That profits off of critical hits. Critical hits are things like
doesn't look that like I like the Stealth Archer in Skyrim and it was fun, but it just got boring quickly because you just like one-shot everybody.
Backstabs, by the way. Bandit is definitely not as beginner friendly as
I don't want to play this.
But if you really want to play through Elden Ring as like the stealthy bow character who just backstabs everyone, I mean, go ahead, pick Bandit.
But like Bandit on a boss, right? How's that gonna work? On a boss fight? What the fuck are you gonna do? Sneak up behind the boss?
You could also choose him to set up a nice dex build, but you're probably better off just choosing Warrior for that, as Warrior is a lot more optimized for a dex build than Bandit is. One thing I did notice about Bandit is that it has the most arcane out of any other class, so if there ends up being, you know, an arcane build you can do, then Bandit will be the best for that. But as of right now, we don't really know if arcane is gonna be something you could really make an entire
no idea what arcane
is.
We'll
just have to wait and see for that one. The next class we have here is Astrologer. The Astrologer starts out at level 6 with 9 Vigor, 15 Mind, 9 Endurance, 8 Strength, 12 Dex, 16 Intelligence, 7 Faith, and 9 Arcane. Obviously, just by looking at the stats and the name itself, Astrologer, you can tell that this class is meant to be sorcery focused. If you're looking to make a pure sorcery build,
you just one-shot all those guys.
You cast magic and shit, beat the fuck out of people from long range, maybe close range, depends on the spell. This class is for you.
This could be fun.
In Elden Ring definitely seems a lot stronger than in the previous games, so this could be a good choice. If you don't really care about melee weapons and you don't really like getting up close to enemies, this could be a great choice for you. Now, most people might think that spell classes are boring, you know, you just sit there, cast spells all day, but that's not really true. It really depends on the spells you're using. There's a lot of long range ones, there's also a lot of close range ones. It's really just up to you.
Dang, that's pretty sweet.
Keep in mind is that when you cast a spell, it uses something called FP. You can think of FP as mana or ammunition. You can get more FP by leveling up Mind, so if you're going for a magic build, you're gonna have to invest in Mind. One thing to note though is that when you kill groups of enemies in Elden Ring, you actually get flasks back. So that means you can essentially have
it's like a Path of Exile. That's pretty sweet.
FP, because you'll get a blue flask back when you kill a group of enemies. So running out of FP or mana is not a big deal. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention, Astrologer does obviously spawn in with a staff. However, the class also does have a melee weapon for emergencies. I believe that weapon is a straight sword, so you know, if someone's just running at you, you're not completely screwed.
I bet this class is very squishy though. You know, it probably doesn't have much health or defense as the other melee builds.
You have a little backup weapon you just whack them with. Next up, we have Prophet, which you can think of as like a sibling to Astrologer. Prophet starts at level 7 with 10 Vigor, 14 Mind, 8 Endurance, 11 Strength, 10 Dex, 7 Intelligence, 16
it's like a druid,
and 10 Arcane. Very much like Astrologer.
He's got like a toilet seat on his head.
Your Prophet is a magic class. Instead of casting sorcery spells, Prophet uses the power of faith to cast faith spells.
The power of God.
Also known as incantations. Now, a lot of people have asked me which is better, incantations or sorcery. There's not one that's really better than the other. It's just really personal opinion.
That's crazy.
Which spells you like better, things like that. Faith is usually related to lightning spells. However, in Elden Ring, faith seems to be tied to more elements now.
Oh my god, he just got fucking wrecked. Yo, you better pray after that shit. Pray to your god after getting stabbed 3 times in the fucking heart.
Dragon scale blade. So
yeah, there you go.
More into using different types of elements, you can go ahead and choose Prophet over Astrologer. Faith also does seem to have the edge in healing spells because as far as I know
this looks really cool, but I don't think it's for me.
There is no healing sorcery at all. Once again, I almost forgot to mention, Prophet also does have a melee weapon just like Astrologer does, except it's a spear instead of a straight sword. Next up, we have Samurai, which unsurprisingly has a katana, as well as a bow. Samurai starts off at level 9 with 12 Vigor, 11 Mind, 13 Endurance, 12 Strength, 15 Dex, 9 Intelligence, 8 Faith, and 8 Arcane. The Samurai class is Dex focused, however, it does have a lot of strength, so you could turn this into a good quality build. If you're going for a Dex focused build, you're still...
I don't know how I feel about the bow animation there. Like, shooting a bow, that doesn't look too engaging, you know? That's just like a crosshair and you just left click. That doesn't look too fun, so I don't think I'll play a bow class. I don't know, it's hard. I don't think any game has really gotten bow down. I guess Skyrim's pretty fun with the bow. Because there's kind of like a drop to it, right? So you kind of, especially those long shots, you kind of have to like get the perfect vertical position. But this, I don't know, it doesn't look too fun.
Probably better off.
Like, look at that. Just put it in the center. They're not looking. Click, succeed. It's kind of boring.
Using Warrior because the stats are just better. But if you don't really like warrior,
it's strong though.
Like samurai more, you
it's really strong.
Choose that as your second option. Samurai is also a great choice if you're going for a quality build that focuses more on dex than strength. This class also does start off with a bow too, so you can do some long range combat pretty early on. You're not just stuck meleeing people. Next up on the list is Prisoner. Prisoner starts at level 9 with 11 vigor, 12 mind, 11 endurance, 11 strength, 14 dex.
This man's on a mission. He just got out of jail. He's ready to fucking level up.
14 intelligence, 6 faith, and 9 arcane. As for weapons, Prisoner starts with a rapier and a sorcery staff. This is the perfect class for anyone who wants to make a dex intelligence hybrid build. If you didn't know, dex increases casting speed for spells, so this works out perfectly. If you're looking to use magic but you also want to dabble in some dex melee weapons, Prisoner is for you. This
it's like a hybrid class
perfectly, just because, you know, the dex also increases the casting speed. Next up on the list is Confessor. We are finally almost done. Confessor starts out at level 10 with 10 vigor, 13 mind, 10 endurance, 12 strength, 12 dex, 9 intelligence, 14 faith, and 9 arcane. For weapons, this class starts out with a broadsword and a finger seal.
I like the spells, man. They look really cool.
Confessor is very similar to Prisoner, as it's meant to be a spell hybrid build, but instead of sorcery, it's faith. I might actually start off with Confessor just because, you know, he got that bloodborne drip. But anyways, if you want to use incantations as well as have some melee power, Confessor
that's pretty sweet.
Finally, we have Wretch, which is pretty much the naked starting class of this game. Just like in all the other games, the naked class has 10 in every stat.
All the other games, what? They have this? Level, you start at level 1? Wow, this is like the hard mode class or something? You go in here for like a challenge?
And starts at level 1. As for weapons, Wretch starts out with a club. Now most new players are gonna see Wretch and think, you know, that's the worst class to start with, but that's not true. When it comes to builds, Wretch has the most freedom. Starting at level 1 and having 10 in every stat allows you to go for literally any build you want. Sure, you might be dripless, but there is infinite potential.
Wait, can you never wear clothes, or is it just like when you start?
If you never played a Souls-like game before, I would not recommend trying Wretch out for your first playthrough. But if you have experience in the other games, you know, go for it. Wow, this video was a lot longer than I expected it to be. Anyways, if you made it this far, you're awesome.
That was good.
I really hope you decided which class you're going to start with. If you enjoyed, drop a like. If you're new.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna go with the Vagabond, the Warrior, or the Hero. I have to probably the Vagabond just because I'm a new player. Like I said, I'd never really played any of these types of games before. Let me know in the comments what you guys are gonna play. What looks interesting to you? I think the mages look really cool, especially the hybrids. Like the Prisoner look pretty cool, and the Confessor look pretty cool. But I think I just want to go more melee focused for now. We'll have to see. And I don't know if I'll be playing this game on Friday, or if I'll be waiting to play, because I am kind of digging Lost Ark still, you know? So we'll have to see.